What's up, coolers, and welcome back to Barça Dream Team. And today we're going to be discussing why Messi is not the only solution to Barca's problems. Make sure to watch until the end to see our opinion on an ideal summer transfer window for Barca. We hope you'll subscribe and hit that notification bell, and let's get started.
But first, I want to address the rumours we've been hearing about the ways Barca intend to balance the books and clear up the wage bill to make Messi's return possible. And we've heard a lot of speculation about the futures of Ansu Fati and Ferran Torres, who have both had a tumultuous 2022-23. Ansu has slowly reintegrated into the team after his long-term injury, and when I say slowly, I do mean slowly. He's only played just over 1,600 minutes this season. And when it comes to Ferran, he's actually been so poor that Xavi has changed his setup from a 4-3-3 to a 4-2-2-2 recently to play an extra midfielder and avoid playing him. They both struggle to keep the ball, they struggle to take on players, and their pass and shot accuracy is very hit and miss. But by far the worst problem is that they're so desperate to prove a point to Xavi that they take shots from all over the place at the expense of losing possession or ending a good move.
However, in recent weeks, Mundo Deportivo have reported that Ferran has no intention to leave Barcelona this summer and wants to stay and fight for his place at the club. Add that to the words of Ansu Fati's father, Bori Fati, and you can see that the attention is then shifting to other players like Raphinha.
We're even hearing that Arsenal sporting director Edu is in constant contact over the signing of Raphinha this summer. And we talked last week about Raphinha's debut campaign and discussed what he can bring to the team. In my eyes, Raphinha is a more valuable player to the team than Ferran and Ansu. Make sure to check that video out for exactly why we have that opinion.
So exactly what are Barca doing here? We're keeping Ansu and Ferran, and we're listening to offers for Raphinha, who's only had one season to prove his worth. Well, it seems that we have a hierarchy at the club. At the top are the untouchables. These are the players who, if they were to be transferred out of the club, would cause catastrophic damage to the team. In other words, we could demand a fee of over 120 million for someone like Pedri to bring in a large amount of cash at once, but that's damaging our team far too much. So that makes Pedri an untouchable. None of these players will be sold. Right at the bottom are those who do not demand such a large fee. These are the non-essential players of the club. Looking for a buyer is possible, but the effort we need to go to drum up interest in them and finalise a deal is just not worth the modest transfer fee we'd get from selling them. It's just not worth it. None of these players will be sold. The second tier includes those who will retire at Barca in the immediate future, and they won't be moved on either.
But the third tier is the most important when you're looking at the summer transfer window. These are the players who, if sold, wouldn't cause an unrepairable amount of damage to the squad. However, they would still be able to command a big transfer fee. And when I say a big transfer fee, I'm talking about anywhere between 25 and 90 million euros. Spurs are looking into signing Franck Kessié for 25 million, but with the potential continuation of Ansu and Ferran at the club, that leaves Raphinha and Christensen as the only big-name departures we could realistically see this summer.
So let's now bring this back into the context of the main point of today's video. What does all this mean when we're talking about the return of Leo Messi? Well, the idea that the departures of Raphinha and Christensen would facilitate the move of Messi doesn't sit well with me. It kind of feels like one step forward and two steps back. We're in a unique position at Barca whereby the main core of the team is pretty good. Xavi's building something here. There's a togetherness at Barca which has been missing in recent seasons. But to bring Messi back at the expense of tearing up the team we've spent so long creating, it just doesn't feel right.
Now, I do want to make it absolutely clear. We want Messi back just as much as the next Barca fan. I mean, it's been a difficult period in recent years, and the return of our captain is a cause for great celebration. But not like this. The best case scenario would be for the departure of Ansu or Ferran. Somehow, if we can get a club interested in one of them, that should bring enough funds to bring Messi back. I mean, we're hearing reports of Wolves being interested in Ansu, and so could Jorge Mendes be the go-between for that deal? We know that he has a great relationship with Wolves and he is Ansu's agent. Or do the words of Bori Fati mean the deal is off? Is it impossible to offload Ansu this summer?
But remember, this is the man who said he'd leave Barcelona tomorrow if he could. And once we've settled the funding for Messi's return, we mustn't forget that he's not going to solve all of our problems. Even the greatest player of all time can't solve all of our problems. Realistically, I see a huge increase in our attacking output next season. The thought of Messi teeing up Robert Lewandowski is a mind-blowing prospect, but the only way I see us progressing in Europe is if we score more goals than we concede. We know that our defence has been excellent this season. The back have been one of the main reasons why we're going to win the La Liga title. But with Christensen potentially leaving the club this summer, our defence is going to take a massive hit. So that means that Koundé cannot be played at right back. It's criminal, it really is. Koundé's an excellent centre back, but how long can we get away with playing him out of position? And the same goes for Araujo in emergency situations. So right back is a priority signing. Messi is not going to solve our defensive problems, so we shouldn't lie to ourselves by saying that we'll win the Champions League as soon as Messi walks through the door.
That's right. So what does an ideal summer window look like for us? Ideally, one of Ansu or Ferran must leave the club. As sad as it is, guys, we must make way for Messi's arrival. Add that to the possible sale of Franck Kessié, and we should be able to free up enough cash to satisfy La Liga of our plans to bring back Messi. And when it comes to the incoming transfers, we think it's going to be Messi, Inigo Martinez and Ilkay Gundogan. But to put the cherry on the cake, if we could bring in João Cancelo on loan from Man City, we could sort out our fullback problems. He's top quality, and I could see him fitting in nicely to Xavi's side. The only real problem is the wages, so it would be interesting to see whether or not we spend the big money on Cancelo or we prioritise another right-back signing. So guys, let us know your thoughts on the comments down below. What do you think of the Raphinha rumours, Messi's return and the summer transfer window? So if you like this video, guys, make sure to hit that notification bell. Subscribe to BDT and we'll see you next time. Visca el Barça!